Hello? Okay, we're live. Can you all hear me? And sound is good, video is good? I'm like 1 minute late because I was seeing, I'm currently doing this on my Sony camera, but I was seeing if this is better, like my, what do you call this, DJI Pocket. But I actually still think I prefer like the general, like the vibes of the Sony camera. To be honest, this has been a really good buy. First of all, can you wait before I start carry on talking? Can you all confirm you can hear me good? Okay, sound is good. Okay. So you guys know I bought this camera pretty recently, and it has been a good purchase. It really has, and especially like the mic and stuff. But still, in terms of if I'm like vlogging out and about, nothing will beat my phone because I'm always carrying my phone, right? But even to carry this and the kit like outside, it's a little bit annoying. So unless actually I'm doing a video soon where I have to do like a solo planned travel around Seoul. So that'll be like a Seoul neighborhood guide, one I haven't done in a while. But that's like for an app, travel app. So that I will have to take this camera and properly vlog. But for most of the time, I'm just like, I can't be bothered to carry this. So just like most of the time on my phone. And if for sit down videos, if I'm just purely sitting down, I actually still prefer this, the Sony camera. So yeah, this is a, like kind of like, I don't know exactly when like it's the best time to use this. So, but anyway, so I am recovering from COVID. That's why I couldn't be with David a few days ago. It's now the third day, I believe. Third day since I've got it. I think I actually carried it for a few days ago. I really think I did because it's from like last Thursday, Friday, my throat was feeling weird, but I just thought it was like, you know, not drinking enough water or something. And then like the day before the Monday, I was like, I felt a little bit lightheaded, a little bit like cold sweats. And then the next day morning, I took the test and it was like immediately, as soon as I put the droplets in, it was like immediately 2 lines. And I was like, oh, great. I don't know where I could have got it from. Honestly, I didn't go out over the weekend. I stayed home. I could have got it from the gym or like restaurant or anywhere, to be honest. It's kind of spreading. I know a lot of people that have got it recently. So it's not just me. And then I texted my dad. I was like, Dad, I have COVID for the fourth time. And he was like, what is wrong with you? He was like, what on earth is wrong with you? And I was like, just tell me to feel better, okay? And that's it. Yeah, so I'm sorry I couldn't be there with David, but I'm still doing this live now, 3 days late. And tonight I have a video going up. Finally, it's contact lens brand is over there. Contact lens brand, and it's with a juicy story time. So please go support. It's like the title is going to be a celebrity slid into my DMs and surprising dating culture differences between Korea and the West. That's the video. I talk about the one time where I dated someone famous very briefly. And so please go support it when it uploads tonight, my time, probably morning time for most of you. So yeah, I had to film that video 3 times because like back and forth with the brand, blah, blah, blah. It was a headache, but but it should be fun. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about the sugar situation in a bit, not right at the beginning. So I know you're all here for this. Yeah, legit, yeah, people are going like, what? Yeah, it's some juicy tea. And I do not drop names, obviously. I really hope he doesn't watch it. I don't think he will, but you know what I mean? I don't think he will. Let me just eat a strepsil, though. A strepsil. Just so, I don't know if I can stream for 2 hours, to be honest, but let's see how it goes. Guys, also, while I've been sick, can you give me advice? Because I've been like, because you guys know I just turned 30, and I mean, this is kind of me trying to justify myself, but I've been thinking about buying a big girl watch. I'm like, I think now is the time where I can maybe spend the money, but it's like I'm back and forth about it because I'm like, I mean, okay, so should I tell you the dream watch that I want? Or the watches that I want? Hold on, let me switch screens. Oh, sorry, I should have done this before. Give me 1 second while I sort this out. No. Sorry, should have prepared this before. You can hear me, right? You can hear me when I switch screens, right? Yes? I feel like the chat is a bit laggy. Can you still hear me when I switch screens? Confirm yes or no. Yes? Can you still hear me when I say this, when I'm on this screen? Yes, okay, good. Okay, so I want a Cartier, not a Rolex. I remember last time I was like, oh, I want that like pink Datejust. But honestly, I prefer like the squareness of the Cartier watches that I want. So I either want a tank or, I mean, the ones that are really trendy these days is this one. Where is it? The Banois. This watch is so pretty. It's like a bangle slash accessory, but it's like almost 13K. This is all like pure 18 karat gold, so there's no way I can afford this. But this one is a mini. Oh, this one on a black strap. I quite like this. It will look very dainty, but just really elegant, I feel like. This is 7K. So, or like I said, go away. Or the tank is a classic, and the one that I really want is this one, the Tank Louis. I love this leather, and this is all 18 karat gold. I just like the look of the square watches. I think it's like a nice dress watch. The Rolexes are too like round and big and like masculine for my liking. What do you guys think? People who have like a nice big girl watch, please advise. What should I buy as my first watch? Or so the cheapest tank you can get is the Tank Must. It's like, yeah, 3K. Wait, I'll read your comments in a second, but let me just show you. All the other popular models are, I mean, this is really popular, the Panther. It's like kind of the it girl watch, this one. Oh, that's like 23K, Jesus. People get this one, the two-tone. I like the kind of longer face. This is too small for my liking. So yeah, I'm just thinking about it, but also at the same time, I'm like, I know I should just save. I don't want to take a dent in my savings. So, but I mean, while I was sick, I was just like a woman possessed, looking at videos on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So I probably won't get it. Or, I mean, if you buy it now, because the Cartier also, you know, like all the designer brands, they just keep going, getting price increases, like 3 times a year, 2 times a year. So even like a year ago, the tank, it was probably like 2.5K. It's already gone up so much. But there is like a big, like vintage market for secondhand. So maybe I can just get one, like a really good quality one, yeah, on like authorized websites. There's like a website called Chrono24 that sells like authentic secondhand watches. So maybe. Well, I'm not gonna read your comments. Freya was here. 코로나 걸렸어? Yes, I'm sick. Why such an expensive one? Well, it's like, why do people get... Well, this is like, you can pass it down to... If you get an expensive watch, first of all, it can be an investment. Well, it depends on the brand you get. But usually, like Rolex, Cartier, some models, they will go up in price. And obviously, the more expensive ones, like the Piquet or the Patek Philippe. To be honest, like, I'm not like a watch expert. Like, you know how men really get into watches? I'm like, you know, they get into like the mechanical, like the engineering and like this movement, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about all that. I just want like a pretty design. Like most girls don't care so much like what movement or like how good engineered, like, you know, it is. We don't really care. We just want a pretty watch. Um, so I'm just thinking about it, but I know probably won't get it. To be honest, guys, I can afford to buy several, but it's just like I don't want to like take that dip in my save. I would rather in like I don't know. Yeah, I'm still thinking about it, but like David said, like he's always like I'm gonna save towards the house or deposit for the house first, do everything else, and then stuff like this. So yeah, let's see. But what do you guys think? Yeah, do you guys anyone has like a Cartier that can advise me? Which one should I mean, I already know the ones that I want, but the leather goes with your cowgirl boots. Yes, a watch is a watch. Better to save your money. You need to be presumptuous. Get a watch that looks original but cheaper. Looks like a Citizen. What's a Citizen? The favorite watches that I own are Coach and Michael Kors. I mean, there are good ones, like cheap, like Seiko apparently is a really good watch brand, but I just like the look of the square. Like, it's very Princess Diana, Angelina Jolie. Like, it's a very, very classic dress watch. So, people prefer men's watches too. Freya's still here. 머리하러 갔는데 시간 되면 보자 하려는데. Maybe, but okay, the thing with COVID is, guys, because now not sure what the rules are anymore, because technically I was confirmed to have it on Monday. But like I said, I feel like I had it for a few days before that. And there used to be like a 1 week quarantine that you just had to do. You couldn't see anybody. But now I was like researching, even if you get COVID now, they advise you to just like do one day, like 24 hours, just stay at home. And then there's no rules anymore. Like people still have to go into work if you get COVID. You just have to wear a mask. So Freya, I think I can still see because I feel much better today. I can still be wearing a mask. I really don't think I'm contagious anymore. So if you still want to meet up, we can. But honestly, there's no rule in Korea like you have to quarantine or anything like that. And people still going into work even if you have COVID. Like my friend Jenny, she knows that I have COVID, and she's like, literally everyone in my office is positive apart from me. And I was like, what? I was like, are they all working? They're just like, yeah, they're all working with the masks on. And I was like, you still haven't got it? She's like, I still haven't got it. So yeah, people like life is just carrying on as normal. So it's kind of crazy to think that like 2 years ago it was so. You know, the government were giving out funds. They were sending free food to your house for that 1 week you had COVID, like free medication, free treatment. And now it's like none of that. It's like, no, go to work. It's just a cold, which it is. Yeah. So I'm getting better. It's just this like the last dregs of the cough still here. But yeah. Freya says so much to tell you. Okay, I want the tea. Freya. So David is right, yeah. Oh my god, look at my skin. I told you guys, I have sensitive skin. It goes red like this. Anyway, I have a Cartier, I can give you more advice over Just tell me in the comments, please. I personally like the two-tone one and think that they can match with any outfit, like you can dress it up or down. Guys, if I buy one, I'll probably get it vintage. So, let's see. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. And I've heard, yeah, everywhere across the world, like, yeah, in America, my friends in London, everyone has COVID. Oh, by the way, I know probably not many Londoners or people from the UK watching right now at this time, but I forgot to mention this in the last week live, but I don't know if you guys know what's going on in the UK. It's like crazy riots going on. The whole country is like in turmoil. So if I just explain briefly about what's happening in the UK, basically there was an incident like a few weeks ago where 3 children got stabbed with a knife by this, I think he was 17-year-old boy, and I think he was like mentally ill. I mean, clearly it was at like a Taylor Swift song gathering thing. Like, it was like, yeah, people were just gathering to like listen to her music together or something. There was like a sing-along or something like this. And so loads of kids went, and this guy like rampaged, and 3 kids died, like young kids died. And so there was a huge outrage, and then it was like falsely reported that the guy was like an illegal immigrant, or like he was like Muslim, or stuff like that. So people, the media reported that, and then obviously the really right-wing conservative, those kind of people in the UK, they all kind of started uprising, like, this is what's wrong with it, like, keep when we accept immigrants into the country, this is not the UK anymore, we have more like black and brown people compared to, like, actual UK people, all of this. So they started rioting, looting, and this has been going on all over the country. All over the country. It's like in London, in all the major cities, they're like all the usual riot kind of stuff, like going into businesses and like setting fire to cars. The whole country is like basically like in ruin right now. And yeah, so it's like my friends in London, even Fatin, I was like, he was like messaging me, and I was like, are you okay? Because like he's brown, and people people in London feeling like Muslims or those kind of people feeling slightly scared for their safety. So I was like, Fatin, like, make sure you're okay, like, stay away from, like, dangerous crowds or whatever, this kind of thing. But I was, like, shocked. Honestly, I was shocked. So even if I was in London right now, living in London right now, maybe, like, I would feel like I'm scared for my safety. I touch upon this kind of in my video that's going to go up tonight. But honestly, after living in Korea for the past 3 years, I know, obviously, because I am Korean, I am the ethnicity. So I am not like a foreigner in this country. And that already gives me so much peace that when I was living in London, obviously I had to kind of think about that stuff all the time. I was made aware of that kind of stuff all the time. So yeah, the UK is like going crazy, absolutely crazy right now. Like, so many people getting arrested, the police, they're all fighting. I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, anyone from the UK watching, please stay safe. Yeah, the right wing groups have gone absolutely insane. So yeah, it's unfortunate that this is happening. Is there anything I want to say? Oh, by the way, when I posted, about that on my Instagram stories that I had COVID, and I posted the test, do you know how many people messaged me? Like probably around 20 people messaged me being like, oh my God, we thought that was a pregnancy test. We thought you were telling us that you're pregnant. And I was like, be so for real right now. Be so fucking for real. Even if I was pregnant, why would I post that to my stories? I'm not insane, okay? And some people were like, are you pregnant with David? Seriously, if I had $1 for any time people were asking me about David, first of all, also any time when I was living in the UK, when people asked me, oh, are you from North Korea? I would legit be a millionaire. I would afford like a 50 of those watches. I'm not even joking. So, oh, by the way, today's the 15th of August. Today is Korean Independence Day. Woohoo! Happy Independence Day. And we are liberated from Japan's rule over us. So I think if you work a corporate job, you have the day off today. But for people like me and David, where we don't go to like a proper office, we just work every day. It's not really any different day, but yeah, today is Korean Independence Day. So there you go. So, is there anything else I wanted to say before I talk about sugar? Oh, did you guys see the Brazilian plane crash thing? Did you hear about this? So, a plane, I don't know which airline it was, but a Brazilian one, it crashed, and I saw like the footage of it crashing, and then people were just going like, and apparently like everyone on that plane died. Everybody, pilot, absolutely like nobody survived. And I saw a TikTok of people saying like, imagine some people had to be turned away from that flight because they went to the wrong gate or whatever, and then they were really pissed because they couldn't get onto that flight. They were like, oh, this is so annoying. And then you imagine what you would feel like when you see the news and you're like, that plane crashed and everybody died. I would like, oh my God, that's just so, I would probably never get on a flight again. Probably never get on a flight again, because that is crazy. Be like, I was supposed to be on that flight, and for some force of the universe, I managed to not get on it, and you survived. Isn't that crazy? So that's kind of terrifying. But yeah, I'm really sorry for those people. And that's all I wanted to say. Yes, Rise of the UK plane crash. Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't because every time I see a plane crash video, people are like, "Is it a Boeing plane?" Because Boeings have this tendency for some reason to crash the most out of all the other airlines. Yeah, I don't know why. And then my dad, he being silly, he bought Boeing stock like I think in 2020, thinking that it was like, because that's when all the flights were being cancelled. That's when all the flights were being cancelled. There were like no flights, and he was like, "Okay, the stock is like really down, but surely when COVID gets better and all the flights resume, then the stock will go up again." But Boeing stock does not do well. He lost money like quite a lot, and I was like, "Dad, like you're dumb. Just buy the S&P. Like, what? Don't buy just like individual stocks and stuff." So yeah, he lost money because Boeing's crash, yeah, for some reason. But like, I feel like most of Korean uh, air, the planes are Boeing, so but I've never had an issue really. So luckily, hopefully, it's all good. Okay. So before I'll talk about sugar like in two stories from now on. Before then, I brought something funny. I mean, I saw a bits of David's stream, and obviously, like, I'm not gonna go over the exact same stuff. To next week, we'll be back together, so I can't go over the exact same stuff. But I was just annoyed that I just couldn't be there on this Monday because it's just better to just talk about this kind of thing with everybody. Um, but yes, let me switch screens. Hold on. It's been a while since I've done this on my own. Okay, so not this, but no, not this. What was I looking for? Mm, okay, no, this I thought was interesting. So, while many Koreans believe their country is known around the world for K-pop or K-dramas, what actually comes to mind for people from other countries when they think of Korea is still the North Korean nuclear threat. And this does not surprise me, honestly, because I know you guys are very interested in like K-culture, K-pop and all that stuff, but we're in a very like bubble. This is like a very like people who are like K-pop fans is extreme, like it's very niche and it's very much a bubble. But to the general public, general just people around the world, I believe that yeah, if they don't know much about Korea, then just gonna assume stuff about, oh yeah, it's like that place right next to North Korea. So yeah, it said according to this survey, 83 almost 84% of foreign respondents who have visited or resided in Korea said the security threat from North Korea is the first thing that comes into mind, not anything else. um, in contrast, 85% of Korean respondents said Korea would be known for its culture powerhouse status. So Koreans said, like basically almost all of Koreans said, oh, we're known for our culture powerhouse status, when that is in fact not the case. Lol. This is like kukbong, like country pride. That this does not surprise me. Only 30% of foreign respondents associated Korea with the image of a cultural powerhouse. So yeah, there's a gap between how Koreans view themselves and how the international community perceives them. Also for Korea-related purchases, 65% of Koreans said that K-beauty cosmetics would be the most preferred, but 78% said they chose Korean food as their top choice. Yeah, if you're not exposed to anything Korea, most likely the first thing you'll get exposed to Korea is like Korean food. If you manage to have it at some like restaurant somewhere, that's like the first place you'll probably get exposed to it. Yeah, seaweed snacks, bibimbap kimchi, and Koreans also name K-dramas and films as the cultural content that is most likely to thrive. This was in contrast to the perspective of people from other countries who ranked K-pop as first. So yeah, for those of you who like foreigners who are like into Korean stuff, you guys think K-pop is the first, it's like the biggest like draw, whereas Koreans think like it'll be like dramas and films. So I thought this was funny because there's like a huge, clearly like a gap. So yeah, that does not surprise me. So like I said just now, if I had a penny for every time somebody in the UK asked me, are you from North Korea? How can you be here if you're from North Korea? This kind of stuff. People in the general public, people who have not traveled or just people just like, not online, they're not gonna know a single thing. They're not gonna know anything. So yeah, probably like Korean noodles or barbecue. That's like the first place for people to get exposed to anything Korean. Yeah, so like you guys obviously are fans, but like I said, you guys are very niche, and it's like you're in a bubble. And once you get into the K-pop bubble, that becomes your whole world, and you automatically assume like everyone is gonna think like me. But really, really no. There's an entire world of people with completely different interests, and people just don't care about the same stuff. And this is why, before I talk about the sugar thing, but it was reported, I will talk about it later, but it was reported that when the policeman first got Sugar off the ground after he fell over, they did not recognize who he was. It didn't register to them that it was BTS Sugar. And that also did not surprise me either, because I know there's gonna be people in the comments saying like, oh my god, BTS is like the national treasure, how can Koreans not know who they are, blah blah blah. It's like, yes, like definitely if you see like the 7 of them, like a picture of the 7 of them on a poster, people will recognize them. But just like one individual member just on the street, and especially if you're a Korean man in your 20s, 30s, there's a good, like, they're not gonna know, like, each of the members by face because they're not fans. Especially in that demographic, Korean men in their 20s, 30s are not going to be BTS fans. I'd say it's mostly female, the fandom in Korea, at least. Yeah, the army. I would say it's like 99% female. So, is it frozen for anyone else? Is the stream frozen? It looks fine for me. Is it frozen? Let me just take a swig of water. So yeah, the policeman did not recognize Sugar initially, was the report. But we'll get into that. I watched David's stream, especially like obviously I was in the comments for the Sugar part as well, and I found it funny how he was being very, very tiptoey and all of that. I will tell you what I think, but before that as well, well, talking because we are on the subject of North Korea. Kim Jong-un seen with the new Mercedes-Benz SUV in defiance of sanctions. So the whole rest of the country is starving, but he has a brand new model of the Benz SUV. So there's photos, I don't know if you can see, look at that car. It looks very nice and suave. It's presumed to be, he was photographed, he was in the northwestern province of North Korea last week. It's presumed to be the top-class model of the facelifted Mercedes Maybach GLS 600 4MATIC that was launched only in April in South Korea. And the price tag starts at 203K. So he's out here spending the country's money on expensive cars, while the rest of the country is like, you know, yeah, this is not okay. And he had like another expensive one, another high-end one back in January. And apparently this move is subject to the violation of the UN because they banned the supply, sale, and transfer of luxury goods, including automobiles, to North Korea. So most likely, I think they probably must have got it through China or Russia. The borders over there. He can get those cars, but just like, seriously though? Seriously? And there's like a spanking brand new car if it was launched in April, and he wants to drive this car around, clearly. To show off to who though? Who's he showing this off to? So is he buying it with Chinese currency? Yeah, I honestly don't know how they support themselves, the whole economy. I just don't understand. Exploitation, slavery, yeah, that's how they make. And obviously because they have nuclear weapons, and they have friendly relations with China and Russia, obviously. But honestly, I just don't know how that country goes around. Yeah, I don't know. So I think cars, honestly, like we were talking about watches before. Watches though, like especially like a good quality one, it's not like, even like expensive handbags, when you use it, or like, no, that's not a good example. Okay, for example, if you buy expensive shoes, they run down because you're constantly walking on them. So they're obviously going to be scuffs and tears, and they're going to get ruined over time. But watches, they usually retain their value because unless you like massively drop it or scratch it somewhere, if you look after it, it basically doesn't, you know, nothing can really happen to it. Whereas cars, it's just like really, really a depreciating asset. It's like, I really feel like getting an expensive car is like a wealth killer, unless you're just like hella balling. But just like, unless you can, yeah, unless you pay it off all in full in cash or whatever. But otherwise, to keep up with car payments and insurance and repairs, I think cars really is like, yeah, for me, not worth it right now, especially because in Seoul, like I said, I don't need a car at all. I can get around everywhere just fine with public transport and taxis if I need to. But yeah, so yeah, the leader of the country. But I also saw, like I'm talking about North Korea, but I also saw another TikTok of this. Apparently, it's called the strangest country in the world. It began with a T. I forgot the name now, but it's like it's even stranger than North Korea. Maybe I'll talk about it with David next week's live, but it's the most weirdest country, and the leader is the exact same. It's like the capital city is like completely empty, free of people. Like tourists are supposed to go there. The buildings are like super decadent and like made of marble, and it's super expensive, and it's very flashy. But there's like nobody walking around in the city because there are no locals live there. It's very strange. I'll maybe talk about it next week with David. Yeah, people, yeah, that car is a gas guzzler, so he's killing the environment with fossil fuel. Yeah. Yes, Turkmenistan. Yes, that's the country, Turkmenistan. Exactly. Yeah, you guys know. It's a very strange place, apparently. And they rarely give out any visitor visas. And I was just like, I didn't even know that kind of place existed. So maybe I'll talk about it with David. Cars lose value as soon as you drive it off the lot. I mean, yes, I agree. Oh, and I currently have like 362 people watching. I didn't think there was gonna be anyone here today. So thank you all for joining. Please like the stream and subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to help the channel, feel free to donate either here on the YouTube or on PayPal. So, okay. And before I talk about Suga, finally, I thought the Seungri news was funny because I'm sure you guys saw this, but like some Indonesian club put a poster up saying, they're organizing a Burning Sun event and a Hidden World K-pop night party, and obviously Seungri best honor. So it basically was strongly suggesting that he was going to be there, but apparently he's now suing them. He wants to sue them because he got obviously clear backlash for this. But he released a statement saying he was not aware of the event, nor did he have plans to join. And they took down the event. The club took down the event. He apologized. They said it was misunderstood. We want to emphasize that the poster we distributed does not include any description about inviting Seungri. The Burning Sun Surabaya on the poster was intended to convey a message about staying safe at the club and parties, and that is the message. And it was included to remind what happened at Burning Sun could happen anywhere, anytime. Like, be so for real to this club. Like, come on. Like, nobody's gonna believe that. That was all, like, marketing. I mean, it was clever of you. But that is such bullshit. Like, it was a message intended to remind everyone to stay safe. Oh, thank you, Lou, for the $10. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, that made me laugh because it's like, come on, like obviously they clearly got what they needed because it was to get people talking about the club, and now everyone knows, like, what the hell. But it was all like, it's marketing, so I mean, good for them, but like, seriously, come on. Seungri, he plans to take legal actions. They didn't they didn't ask his permission for using his name and portrait, blah blah blah. But there was a different video where he was caught on video saying to more women he's partying again. So he was filmed, and Seungri is seen chatting with one or two women who appear to be Korean. Apparently they were speaking in Korean. And at one point, one of the women asked, 오빠가 사는 거야? Like, they asked, like, are you gonna buy it? Are you gonna buy it for us? And then he responds, 내가 살게. I'll buy it. It's on me. I'll get it. And additionally, one of Seungri's companions reportedly invited other Korean tourists to join them at their accommodation, saying, our place is just 5 minutes away. Let's go have fun together. He is disgusting. Honestly, he is gross. And the thing is, you see how like girls will still line up to party with people like this. They don't give a shit. People are still being like, they're gonna hang out for clout or for the money or whatever. You would think that after all this, like even people like Tong Junyoung, that like most women are gonna be so turned off and blah blah blah. Like no, that's not the case. People are still lining up. Like money is more important. And you guys know the recent news with the Pang PD and those two streamer girls. I mean, I don't think anything. It doesn't seem like to me that probably like nothing sexual happened between them. But like, let, but it's just like money will get people to do anything, right? There will be girls out there who will sleep for people. Who will like let's just say it's not like it's like hypothetically they will sleep with people like Pang PD if they gave them enough money, you know. For me, I could, like, not being mean, or people want to say I'm bullying, but whatever. I'm just gonna. This is my opinion. I can't even imagine like kissing like Pang Xiao. I can't even imagine that. Like so no. So it's like no matter how much money you give me, it's like I'm good. Like I'm good. Thank you. I'm seriously fine. So yeah, people like Seung-Lee, even if you're a criminal, if you're a rapist, if you whatever, people don't care if you have enough money. Seriously, it doesn't matter. So please don't cancel me for saying I would turn away the chance at kissing Pang PD, but that's just literally my opinion. So when there's and there was a lot of comments like that when there's pictures of those girls came out and they were like, oh my god, they have a piwi 좋다. They have strong like stomachs. They have they're really like steel faced. Gosh, but everyone has a price. For 1 billion, I will consider it. I mean, 1 billion, that is like definitely life-changing money. 1 billion. But honestly, when those pictures of Pang PD came out, like he probably has like bigger boobs than I do. Like, and it's just, I can't imagine for no matter how much money, I'm not attracted at all. So yeah. Okay, so before we talk about sugar, let me just take another swig of water. Am I ready for this? So, okay. I saw on David's stream some of the comments that were going on as he was explaining everything yesterday, and obviously I think people some like level-headed people say something, and then just like some people I saw definitely in David's comment section yesterday just completely outright just saying like, this is not a big deal, the scooter thing is not a big deal, and like this is not an issue and Koreans are overreacting, all of this. So let's get into what happened. I'm sure you all know what happened, but let me just summarize very, very, very briefly the whole timeline. And I found the timeline organized very neatly on Koreaboo, and they got all their sources from all the Korean articles. So people saying Koreaboo is not a reputable source, but it's like, yeah, they just compiled the actual sources into one article. So for the actual sources from the Korean police, all of that from Weavers, that's all on there. So let's start talking about this. Oh, hold on. Thank you for the $10. Who is it? Mario? Thank you to Mario. Mario Crow, thank you for the $10. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into it. So don't want to bore you with the same details, but just very briefly, the whole thing. So the first time I found out about it, I was at home, and then I got the Weavers notification. So the Weavers notification from actual Big Hit and Suga themselves. And I saw the thing on my phone, and it was like, apology from Suga. And I was like, what happened? So that was the first thing I saw. So, but apparently before that, the initial report was from South Korean news outlet Yonhap. And they said Suga was being investigated in the police station for drink driving. So they reported it first, and they reported it as, they used the phrase electric keyboard. Sorry, not keyboard, electric kickboard. This is the Korean equivalent of electric scooter. and they reported that he had fallen off and he was on the streets and that he was found by police. And so that was the first report, and then all the other news started reporting the same, and then it was on Weavers on Big Hit, and they said, "We apologize for the matter of Suga driving home on an electric kickboard while drunk. He used a helmet. He was driving home. He had driven around 500 meters before he parked and fell down." So they explained all of that. They apologized for the disappointment. No casualties occurred. No property was damaged. He was escorted home by the police. And this was the first thing I saw, his apology. He parked in front of the main gates, and in that process he fell over. Police was nearby, and he took a breathalyzer test, and clearly it was over the legal limit, and his license was revoked, and he paid a fine. No one was hurt, no property was damaged, but he apologizes for his irresponsible and inappropriate behavior. So that's what happened initially at the beginning. And so Korean people in Korea condemn the self-serving apology. International armies question the true severity of the case. We're going to get into that in a second. So the first detail that escalated everything, different news outlets. Star News reported a conversation with the Yongsan police station. It was actually revealed that it was not electric kickboard, but an electric scooter with a seat. When we think kickboard, it's like, I think like there's like, this thing that you stand on and then you just whiz around in Gangnam. But it was basically like a moped. It was a model with a seat. It would be more appropriate to describe it as an electric scooter. So they look like this with an actual seat. And the difference between a kickboard and these is because these go faster. So there are two possibilities according to South Korean law. If Suga's mobile vehicle ends up being classified as a device with an internal engine, it will be treated the same as a drunk driving incident involving a car and will be handled using the governing traffic law. His driver's license will be revoked, and he could also end up being charged and punishable by law. On the other hand, if his device is investigated and classified as a variation of an electric kickboard, the case will end with him facing a fine of about $73. It was at this point where they clarified he had not been fined or gotten his driver's license revoked yet. The investigation is still going. So I guess, he's still... I know it's been reported that he's going to have to be called in for a proper investigation. And people are saying whether he has to do like the wall of shame, when people like Tong Junyoung and Seung Lee, they're like, dragged into the police station, and you have policemen on all sides. It's like really like kind of a shameful thing, and they're all like photographed by all the media and stuff. I have thoughts about this as well, whether this is appropriate. We'll get to that in a second. So CCTV. So obviously the backlash was very intense. It's like common Suga. And the other thing is he's currently meant to be on military duty. That's the other thing. The other members are like actively serving in the actual army because they're physically able. But you guys know he had like a shoulder injury. He fell off, like it was like a motorbike incident. So because of his shoulder situation, he's not actually serving physically in the army. He's just doing like civil service, like that kind of work for the government right now. So it's like I said earlier, the police officers who first spotted Suga did not recognize Suga as a member of the BTS group initially at the time of the incident. So they were saying, undermining the argument that his celebrity status influenced the handling of the case. And so JTBC Newsroom aired CCTV footage capturing Suga driving the electric scooter down like an actual road. This video that they reported, this has actually been taken down because that person is not actually Suga. They got somebody else, but apparently that video is not him. So that had to be taken down by JTBC. So yeah, that was not him at all. So now it's like, what's going to happen to his enlistment status? So the Korean Office of Military Manpower Administration made a decision not to hold Suga responsible for an incident that occurred outside of his working hours. So that's what they said. And then Big Hit released another statement to apologize for their oversight. They said they didn't try to downplay the incident. They said regarding the term kickboard, like they weren't sure, they didn't really think about it too much, but they were like, okay, we will take responsibility, like we did not mean to use the term kick, we just assumed that that's what it was, but clearly it was a different name. All the going back and forth about what the name is, like that's not like concerning to me. Like I think this is kind of a dumb thing to argue about. He went under the breathalyzer test. He went home immediately. There were remaining steps to the process, and we wrongly believed that the case had been concluded, and we realized the severity of the case. We will continue to have good communication, blah, 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 all of this. So that's it. And then, so an official from the Yongsan police station said Suga's electric scooter was not considered a personal mobility device. Instead, it has been classified as a motorized bicycle. It's a motorized bicycle. This is the thing that he was riding on. The PM device is classified as a device that moves as an individual at a maximum speed of 25 kilometers per hour. PM is like for like those actual kickboard things. The vehicle that Suga was operating has been classified as a motorized bicycle, or the Korean equivalent of an e-bike. And in Korea, the operation of an e-bike is governed the same as the operation of a car. And so his electric scooter model is not included in the PM device list. So this makes the situation slightly worse. So he will face criminal investigation akin to the DUI of an automobile. The scooter made by this brand can reach a maximum speed of 30 kilometers per hour, and it's a foldable model that does not allow for the attachment or detachment of the seat. So apparently if it's able to detach, then it's a kickboard. If it doesn't detach at all, then it's a scooter. The maximum motor has a maximum output of 1.2 kilowatts, which falls under the category of a 125cc or less engine displacement, blah, blah, blah. So it's basically a motorized bicycle. It's an electric scooter. So the really bad report was that Suga's BAC level, the alcohol level, was about 8 times higher than the legal limit. When the Yongsan police tested him, it was at 0.227, over 7 times Korea legal limit of 0.03. This is terrible. This is I think David said this, but this is the highest reported alcohol limit out of all the Korean celebrities ever. And this website says this website tells you the impact of the blood alcohol in your level. So the legal limit, this is between 0.01 and 0.03. This is the lowest measurable blood alcohol level. At this mild level of intoxication, you may feel slightly warmer and more relaxed. He was at 0.2, so in this area. You'll feel dazed, confused, and disoriented. Balance and muscle control have deteriorated, and you may need help walking. You may not notice if you injure yourself, as feelings of pain are numbed. Nausea and vomiting are likely, and an impaired gag reflex could cause you to choke on your own vomit. Blackouts occur at this blood alcohol level. So it's basically blackout level. So this was really bad, really bad. And the police reported this, not any news report. The police said this. So we're going by what the police said. The latest development. So he was seen riding. This was also, I think, 동아일보, but there was a new one outside of his Hannam-dong apartment. Let me get the link. Where is the link I put up? 1 second. Dispatch. Okay. So you can see the screen, right? Yeah. Okay, so dispatch reported this was him going home on his scooter. This is 91 Hannam, one of the most expensive property real estate in Korea. And this is 91 Hannam. The thing is, he drove 500 meters from he was at his recording studio. So basically what they reported was he drove about 500 meters. He was at his recording studio going home, and he was turning left at the entrance, and then he got caught on something on the floor. He fell over, and there were 3 police just happened to be patrolling the area, and then they obviously, when you see someone fall over, they were like just checking what's if they're okay and stuff. So this is what dispatch is saying. Let me translate in real time. First, he did 2 things wrong. First of all, the fact that he drunk drove. That's his first mistake. He shouldn't have done that. And the fact that his alcohol level is 0.227, that was wrong of him. And then the second thing he did wrong, apparently you can't drive on the pedestrian pedestrian roads on that thing, if it's not a personal mobility device. But he might have not been aware, so that might have been a genuine mistake. But that is his. Apparently, that's wrong. That's not okay. And so that's him driving home to 91 Hamnam. The thing is, do you guys know 500 meters? I googled that. 500 meters walking distance. It takes 5 to 6 minutes. It's a 5 to 6 minute walk. It's like your studio is there. Your home is 5-minute walk away. Why would you just not walk that distance? Why would you just not do that? That is what I don't understand. And clearly, I mean, guys, the fact that we're going to talk about like the news blah, 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 in a second, but the thing that I find disappointing, and yes, he did do something wrong here. If you have drank, he was drinking, it was reported he was drinking with friends before at dinner, and then he went to the recording studio. And the fact that his alcohol level was far above the legal limit, he was drinking. Why would you just not walk home? I don't understand. And people are like arguing about the fact that, well, what the alcohol limit is not true. That's the information we've been given by the police. If it was not true, I'm sure then Big Head or Hype would have said something about it already. The police reported that that was his alcohol level, and that's what we're going off of. But clearly he had had a few drinks, quite a few drinks. If it's a 5-minute walk home, why would you not walk that? Why does it come into your mind to think like, I'm just going to take the scooter home? I think even if you're that drunk, even going on a bicycle, technically it's not illegal, but I think it still doesn't make it okay. You can still injure someone. And that was the thing. Like, I am going to give my opinion about this whole thing at the end, but the disappointing thing is just like anyone that, it doesn't matter who it is, Suga or anybody else in my real life, when anybody drinks and then drives, I just think it's so irresponsible. Why would you do that? My grandma was a victim of a drunk hit and run. It was a drunk hit and run. I just think there's no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. So, and okay, maybe like, say like 500 meters is too short of a distance for a taxi to drive you. But seriously, if it's just 500 meters, then just walk. Just walk. It's not long at all. I am not reading the chat. Stop misinformation. What is misinformation? What is misinformation? And let me get to the rest of the news, but what are you guys saying is misinformation? The distance or his alcohol level or what? A car and a kickboard are two different things. So first of all, we've already confirmed that the police confirmed that what he was riding was not a kickboard, guys. So if you've been in a big city, or even if you come to Korea, there's loads of there's things that you stand on and you just whiz around on Gangnam. But even those, like the ones without the seat, even the scooter ones that you just stand on, my friend has been on one and it goes so fast. I'm just like, even if you could crash into one of those, that can definitely cause some damage. That can definitely cause some damage. And what he was riding on, it goes even faster than that. And like let me get back to the screen. And the fact that his alcohol level was, okay, reportedly that high, and he's going home on the pedestrian street, right? Okay, yeah, and the fact that he fell over here while the police was right behind. I've seen some people say, I think Mini Jin planted those police officers to be right there so they could like get Suga. I'm just like, no, seriously, come on. That did not happen. That seriously did not happen. He just got very unlucky. The thing is, this party, if he drank that much and he just didn't occur to him to think like, oh, maybe I should not drive a vehicle right now. This is probably not his first time doing it. Probably not his first time doing it. I just, if you have had a few drinks and you're driving a moving vehicle, whether it's a bike even, I really don't think this is okay. You can still injure someone with this, still. But by the law, the fact that he was driving an electric scooter, he can get in trouble for this. And this is what the problem is. Okay, so for those of you saying that this is not a big deal and stuff, well, I really can't argue with people like that, because as like I told you, I have family members who are victims of a drunk DUI. I don't think it's acceptable in any way. Whether it's a short distance or what have you, it's just like you have no excuse. You have so many more options than to do that. So I can be a BTS army and still say that was very disappointing. Seriously, that was disappointing. If anyone in my friends in my real life do the same thing, I'll be like, that was disappointing of you. And people defending Suga by saying, oh, this is not a big deal. People are overreacting about the fact that he did a DUI. No. And people arguing that it was okay. People are saying it was, come on, it's not a car. Like I said, I don't care if it's a bicycle. If you're that drunk, you can still hurt somebody. And there have been actually reports in Korea before where an old couple got knocked over by one of those electric scooters, and they were very injured, extremely injured. Yeah, you could not kill, like a car can definitely kill someone. Maybe those scooters maybe could not, but you can still cause injury to some people with those. They go very fast. I don't know if you've seen them on the streets in Korea, but they go very fast enough to if you crash into them, they can cause injury. So people are saying, like, people really defending, like, hey, it's not a car, be so for real, get over it. The fact that it wasn't a car, it doesn't matter. Whether it was a bike or whatever. If you're just drunk, get home in a different way. Seriously, get home in a different way. So I can be a fan and be like, that was disappointing. He shouldn't have done that. And I'm sure he would have definitely learned his lesson by now after this. Definitely learned his lesson. So let me carry on. So, I mean, and then the JTBC video got taken down. People were saying this is not true. And then Hive came out saying that this footage that came out by Dispatch, they confirmed that this was real and that he did fall in front of his house, because there was a different video showing, it was like a potato quality video. I'm not sure if this is on this page, but there was a different video, potato quality, of like allegedly like looked like somebody like falling on the side of a curb. He hit the side of a curb. I don't think that was him. The real footage is this, the one that was outside of his Hannam real estate. That is the real footage, and that's what Hype also confirmed to be real. And so basically that's all the developments that have happened until now. And he is still yet to go under the police investigation. And the thing that people are disagreeing about is like whether Suga should have to go and do like the walk of shame in front of all the photographers, in front of all the current media, in front of like the stations. So for example, like when, let me find the link, when Seungri had to do that, Seungri 경찰 출석. So let me show you. So you know when celebrities do something wrong and then they get reported into police, and then they have to go through this, literally like the walk of shame. Like all the journalists, photographers are there, and then they get asked questions, and they're like, do you regret what you did? Blah, 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 blah. And like a lot of like people, like criminals that get done, to have to do this like walk of shame and stuff. And so there's a debate about whether this is necessary. Whether this is necessary for Suga to have to do. To be honest, like I said, I was disappointed the fact that he did the DUI. I don't think this is necessary. This is going overboard, in my opinion. In my opinion, this is overboard. And like I said, disappointing, but he apologized, and he didn't lie about the fact that it was right in front of his house. That was true. And yes, he might have thought that was a kickboard, because that could have been a genuine mistake. So I don't think BTS or I don't think Suga or Hype tried to intentionally lie about the fact that they were like saying, oh, it's a kickboard, not a scooter, blah, blah, blah. That could have been a genuine mistake. You know, that's plausible to me. But the thing that he did wrong was the fact that he drove in the first place after drinking. That was definitely wrong. And the fact that he drank that much, that was wrong. But everything else in his apologies, people fighting about kickboard, scooter, blah, blah, blah. I think that does not matter. That does not matter at all. That could have been a genuine mistake, okay? Not necessary. And he's willing to like cooperate with the police, you know, and all of that. So, and the armies, the Korean army sending wreaths to Hive, my personal opinion is just like, do they have nothing else better to do? Seriously, do they not have anything else better to do? It's a waste of money. It's a waste of resources. If you just want to not be a fan anymore, just get out of the fandom. You can just do that. Just do that. But the sending of the reefs is just like so extra and just like not necessary. Like I said, it's like how I feel when somebody on my YouTube channel is like, Anna, I'm going to unsubscribe. And it's like, okay, like you can just go. Like announcing it is just like, okay, whatever. But it's like I think that was very dramatic and unnecessary and whatever. If you want to stop being a fan, that is up to you. That is your choice. But so, and I think the walk of shame, not necessary. It's going overboard. So my take on this whole thing, I'm a fan, but he shouldn't have done that, and that disappointed me, honestly, because I don't, anyone in my life who drink drives, doesn't matter if it was a car, whatever, like bicycle, whatever mobility device, still, just you could have done so many other things. And like, especially, I would be extra careful if I was a BTS member. Honestly, I would be extra careful compared to, I'm just like a nobody, right? But he's a member of BTS. He knows his like social status. The fact that you think that would just make you, even they're so careful with dating news and not to get found out. But it's just like things with like drink driving. Would you not go like the extra mile to be never caught in this kind of thing? But the fact is that when you've had that many drinks, your judgment kind of goes off. People, and I can't argue with people who are like denying the alcohol level. I don't know what to tell you. We're just going off the reports. And like I said, if it was false, Hybe would have already said something. They're not going to take whatever false accusations. The police said that was his alcohol level on the breathalyzer, guys. So I don't know, people like denying that part. I don't know about that, but what I think is going to happen, I think Shuchita, his talk show where he was drinking, that is effectively over. That can't happen anymore because people are not going to view upon that favorably. Him drinking as his talk show after this incident, that's not going to be he's either going to have to do a different show, but just like without the drinking. That's I think Shuchita is right now in the current format that's over. And people are saying like he might have to leave BTS and like that. Hybe already released a statement saying this is ridiculous. This is not going to happen. I agree. People are just like, he is not going to leave. He is not going to leave. He's going to be absolutely fine. Really fine. But it's just, I mean, unfortunately, if you do a DUI and you're super famous, you are going to have to deal with the consequences of this. You are. And like I said, I don't agree with the excessive bullying and like the thing that David mentioned yesterday with like the memes and like the sugar challenge going on. Like, I think that's all really stupid, in my opinion. It's really, really stupid. But like, he is going to face consequences. Like with anyone that has to face a DUI, you shouldn't have done that. And yeah, their actions have consequences. So he's not gonna just be let off with nothing. But I think most likely he's going to get a fine. Honestly, most likely he's just going to pay a fine and that's it. And maybe take some like classes. Yeah, but that's honestly what's going to happen. People being dramatic, being like he's going to have to leave or whatever. He's not. It's going to be fine. What is the sugar challenge? I think David mentioned it yesterday, but I didn't really see it like in detail. But people were just like posting pictures, was it not, of them like holding a bottle of alcohol in their cars and being like, oh, this is the sugar challenge or something like this. Is that correct? Because I didn't look into it too deeply. Yeah, it's just like people trolling, basically, people trolling. But yeah, so I can't, there were a lot of comments suddenly, obviously, about this. I can't argue with those of you, those armies who are just like, he's an angel and he didn't do anything wrong and like just like leave him alone. It's like, no, he did do something wrong. And people who are still like not accepting that fact, I think it's like I said in Javis chat yesterday, imagine if this was Jennie or any of the Blackpink girls or any female idol. If this had happened, they drove 500 meters on a moving vehicle and they had a 0.2 alcohol limit. Imagine the backlash. Imagine. for a female idol, this would be insane. The career would be over, all the endorsements over. People are saying the alcohol level, arguing about the alcohol level. Guys, that's what the police reported as the breathalyzer. If it was false, Hive would have already talked about it. Okay, which I'm just going off the reports. That's all the information that we've been given right now by the police. I can only go off the reports. If it's different, maybe in 2 days, if there's an investigation and the alcohol level was turned out to be wrong, then maybe I can be like, okay, it was wrong. But for right now, the report is his alcohol level was 0.2, and that's blackout drunk, and that is so irresponsible. If you're blackout drunk, seriously, and you think it's okay to drive any moving vehicle home, it's wrong. You're wrong. Anna, the police did not reveal it. Yes, they did. The Yongsan police, they sent out a report saying it has alcohol limit was 0.2. Where are you getting your sources that they didn't report it? Let me find the actual Korean article, if you don't believe it. Sugar alcohol 농도. Where are you getting at your source that they didn't say that? Because everywhere I've seen, they were reporting that the police said. So yeah, all the Korean articles. Seoul Yongsan police station said on the 6th, as they arrested, as they took and investigated him, his alcohol level was 0.227. Whatever it is, the fact of the matter is he was definitely over the legal limit, guys, which is 0.03. 0.03, that is the legal limit. He was definitely, whether that number is completely accurate or not, that he was definitely over the limit. I don't know what to tell you. And people arguing about this, I don't know what to tell you. Everywhere has been reporting the same thing. They said between 0.08 to 2. Well, 0.08 is still over the legal limit, guys. Like I said, even if it's 0.08, he's still in the wrong. He's still in the wrong. You can't, people arguing about the fact this, just accept the fact that he shouldn't have been drink driving. He shouldn't have. He accepted it in his statement. He said, I'm sorry for this. I shouldn't have drunk drive. So I don't know why you guys, he apologized for drink driving. So people who are denying that part, it's just like, I don't get it. So that's what's happening. And the police investigation has not happened yet. We don't know when it's going to happen. Like I said, I don't think the police, the wall of shame, the photographers, all of that is necessary. And probably, I think Hype and they have enough power to ensure that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna let him go through all that. Hype has enough, and Pang PD has enough power within Korea. You were just saying he was blackout drunk. Well, the thing is, people, I'm not going to argue about this anymore, because if it was 0.2, if it is, as the report was saying, if it's wrong report, then next week I can be like, okay, the report was wrong. But as the reports that all I've been seeing in the media, they've all been saying the exact same thing in Korea, 0.227, okay? So if we're going by that, then he was blackout. He was. I don't know if he has an issue with drinking or whatnot. To be honest, yeah, a lot of people do drink a lot in Korea, but we have this thing called Teddy. First of all, with cars, it's like we have Teddy. Someone you designate a driver. You have an app. You call a driver, and then he will drive your car instead home for you, and you just sit in the back. But that's with cars. But with these things, whether it's a bike, if you're at 0.2 level, have you tried riding a bicycle at that level? Your mind is not there. Your mind is not there. So that is basically my opinion is that the K armies who are doing the Reese and like selling him to blah blah blah, it's like, okay, if you want to get out of the fandom, you can absolutely, that is your choice. And like I said, I am still a fan. I'm still a BTS army, but I'm not gonna lie and be like, this was not disappointing. I am disappointed. And my original, when I first I even had like the Min Yoongi guitar pick necklace. He was my original bias. He is my original bias, but like, to be honest, my biases kind of change all the time. So it's like depends on the season, depends on whatever. But right now, I can't say he's my bias, honestly. But he would have definitely learned from this. And I am not one of those like fans who are just like anything that their artists do, there's like nothing wrong, and every song that they put out is like a work of art. I'm a BTS fan, and I don't think all the songs that they put out are amazing. No, I don't. I really don't. There are some songs I think is like very mid and very meh, and that's completely fine. If you have different opinions of it, you are allowed to have tastes, and you're allowed to have different opinions about songs and also about people. Nobody in this earth is perfect, you guys. Nobody on this earth is perfect. And I am disappointed in him for drinking and driving. I'm not gonna say anything different about that. Why am I so misinformed? What am I misinformed about? Please explain. I don't understand. But almost more than 2 weeks of reporting is crazy to me. They didn't even report about the First Lady scandal like this or the North Korea situation. They do. It's just people pay more attention to entertainment gossip. They do report about that stuff, the First Lady scandal and North Korea. But people who, like, especially if you're in a bubble as well, most people are very just driven by entertainment gossip news. That's just how the world is. You know, that's why media stations have to like do clickbaity stuff. And to be honest, it's not about whether it was Suga. If it was Blackpink, this would be reported on for 2 weeks too. They're not intentionally out. The media are not intentionally out to like, you know, like, it's just he is one. Unfortunately, if you're a celebrity of that stature, this is the part that you have to accept. If something like this happens, you are going to have to accept that, yeah, people are going to talk about it, and any new update, people are going to report on it. That's just like, that is just like your life as a celebrity. I remember when, you know, Justin Bieber had his like several, when he was going through his like party phase, several DUIs, you know, like drug charges, whatever. And it was also then as well, he was like peeing in buckets, and like his behavior was awful. And like even back then, his believers were defending him to anything, you know. He hasn't done anything wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you can still be a fan and also understand the fact that they're not perfect human beings. They do mistakes, and they shouldn't have done. But I'm sure after this, he would have learned. You know, he would have learned. Okay, what is Chris saying? The Korean media have been writing hundreds of Yoongi and constantly attacking Yoongi and ARMY. Like I said, whether it was any celebrity that's been, you know, that has done this, they're going to get reported on. And yes, he is one of the biggest members of the biggest boy band in the world. So unfortunately, a lot of articles are going to be written about you. That's just what's going to happen, you know. Seriously. Just be level-headed. You can, whether you decide to leave the fandom or not, that is up to you. Whether you decide to support, that's up to you. But people who are like blindly defending about the fact that he was drink driving and saying that this is like not a car, and come on, it's so slow, and like he didn't injure anybody. That's not the point. That's not the point. It's just your mind should never, if you've just had a few drinks, you should just be like, oh no, I should just, if it's 500 meters, I can just do the 5-minute walk home. That's what you should do as a good person. It doesn't matter, yeah, nobody was there, nobody was injured. And he could have also injured himself. You should have just not do that. And even as a normie, as a nobody, people will do that. You know, take teddies, take alternative routes home. But I just don't understand. If you're a celebrity of that level, I would be 150% extra careful with this kind of thing. 150% extra. So yeah, he did something wrong. That was the fact. Some people are going overboard and being extra dramatic. Yes, I agree. Everything that the police have reported, that's what's been reported. It could be wrong, I don't know, but that's what they have said. The investigation is still yet to happen, and we'll have to see. Like I said, I'm sure he would have learned from this, definitely, and I'm sure none of the other members want him to leave or anything like that. That's really stupid, of course, and he will probably have to take some time out, and he'll probably come back with just like writing good music, you know. That's what's going to happen. He's gonna probably pay a fine. It's not even gonna be a big fine. It's not gonna be a big deal. You are going overboard, Anna, please. Well, I guess you have never made a mistake. When did I ever say that, guy? Okay, I'm not gonna argue with like people who are just like whatever. I said nobody on this earth is perfect. Nobody on this earth is perfect. But me personally, I have never drunk and driven. So, and I don't, whether it's a celebrity or someone that I like, or whether it's a friend of mine, I will find it disappointing. I'm not going to back down from saying that. So basically, oh my God, my voice is tired. All the other news is like there's not much else, and David talked about everything else. So that was basically all I had to say. I don't know what else. If is there anything else you want me to address? I mean, I know there are reasonable armies and also like like Delulu armies as well. Seriously, you can be a fan of someone and still not agree with absolutely everything they do. And I don't, yeah. Yeah, I don't feel the need to argue with like 13-year-old girls, honestly. Like I'm too busy. Like I said, I'm still army. So we'll have to see what happens. Uncle Dan, thank you for the $100. Nice viewer count today. I always appreciate you, and that definitely has made me feel better after after this. Thank you so much. I know people. There are a lot of people watching today, and like the same with David as well, because it's the sugar news. And like I said, people are interested. You guys came into this live because you're interested. You're interested, and that's why the news articles are reporting, because people are definitely interested. It's not they're reporting on just, they're not going to report on like, you know, if they're like nobody cares, but they have this like personal vendetta, you know, whatever. It's just like, if you're a person, a well-known person, whether you're the first lady or blah, 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 you're going to get reported on. So yeah, that is my opinion, and I will not back down. I think like definitely some of the stuff is overboard and it's really stupid. Like people arguing about kickboard and scooter. I think that argument was so dumb. That was so dumb. Like it's like semantics. It like doesn't matter whether it's a kickboard or a mobility scooter or a whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a moving vehicle that can go at a fast speed. And if you're drunk, you shouldn't have gone on it. You shouldn't. I'm over 40 and the one behaving like a little girl is you with this insensitive with Yoongi. How am I behaving like a little girl? I don't understand. I don't understand. To be honest, I don't get, like, you can have your own opinion, like I have mine. I'm still a fan. What can I say? But but you can be disappointed in me. I'm disappointed in him. What can I say? I'm sure he won't do it again. But with this incident, I am disappointed. Most people who post roast comments on YouTube are under the age of 12, even 9. I think Twitter is like the worst cesspool in terms of like fandom stuff. Twitter is the worst. Seriously, it is crazy insane. Some of the comments, even I saw on David's stream yesterday, I was just like, oh my God. Seriously, oh my God. If people hit you, like imagine if people hit you or your family member with one of those. Are you still going to be like, it's not a big deal, it's not a car? Are you really going to be like that? Seriously? Are you perfect, Anna? No, I'm not. I'm not perfect. When did I ever say that? I never said that. Seriously, and I said like nobody on this planet is perfect. But some people in the BTS army think that like they treat those boys like they are, like they have no faults. That's the problem with the this is the problem that I have with army sometimes. It becomes a cult. Some people say it's a cult because you can't have like a criticism of anything, whether it's a song, opinion on a song, or something like this. You can't have a slight criticism of anything without being like, you're a hater, you're an anti, and you're insane, and you can't say anything bad. It's like, no, seriously, like as you said, somebody just called me out and said I'm not perfect. Yes, I agree, but also they're not perfect either. That's why some people say BTS Army is a cult, because you can't say anything negative without, you know. It's like I watch documentaries about like ex-Mormons or like ex-Scientologists, and it's like the same. Once you said anything negative, it's just like everyone within the cult is like you're out. You're completely out. I am a reasonable human being, and I can still like people and also accept the fact that they have faults. And they were going to have things that I don't like about them as well. Same with relationships, boyfriends. You can't have a perfect partner. I don't understand. You're going to have the fact that, so the person that you choose to marry, to be with forever, you're going to have a look at their faults. And this is like, okay, the sides that I don't like about them, is this something that I can live with? It's not like a deal breaker. Because obviously you meet some people and it's like they have deal breaker stuff. Obviously then you can't be with this person. But obviously everyone has a little annoying faults. And then you're like, oh, that's fine. I can live with that. Because the things that you like about them is like that overshadows the little annoying things. But people are just like yeah, I'm not gonna talk to reason with like 12-year-old girls. I'm not gonna do it. It's a waste of my time and energy and breath. And I think that's like the longest I can go for this live today, because my voice is about to die. Please watch out for the video that's going to upload tonight. And I'll see you in the next week's live with David. So have a good week, y'all. Have a good weekend. Stay safe from COVID. Look after yourselves. Bye bye.